we're going to start today lying on the back. So you're coming into a supine shape with your legs outstretched in front of you. Take your arms overhead and take a deep breath in. And if you haven't got the space, you're a bit congested like me, instead of having your arms straight, you can hold on to your elbows and point your toes and take some deep breaths in and out through the nose. Your arms are able to stretch out behind you. Now interlock your fingers, flex your feet and turn your palms away. If you're holding onto your elbows, change the cross of your arms and have the opposite forearm on top and reach your way through your palms and the soles of your feet as you breathe deeply. Now change the cross of your fingers with the opposite forefinger in front and take another long deep breath in and out through the nose, flexing out through the feet, push your way through your palms. Now cross your left ankle over your right, nestle your cheek into your right armpit, and grasp hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Channel your inner banana as you breathe into the left side of your body and slightly curve the body to the right. Now exchange wrists and change the cross of your ankles and take that side stretch into the opposite side, breathing via the right armpit to the right heel. Come back to the midline and take a symmetrical stretch between the extremities with a deep breath in. And then bending your right knee, secure your right shin in your palms. Stay supine and circle your foot, loosening your ankle. Circle your foot in both directions, just a few rounds. And then bend your elbows and position your arms at 90 degrees like cartoon cactus trees. And start to circle your thigh bone with your right leg around your hip. Circle one way, and then wind back the opposite one. Then position your right ankle on top of your thigh and stay with your arms grounded, palms facing the sky, and breathe into the pocket of your right hip. Long deep breaths. With the right ankle staying on the left thigh and the right foot flexed, point your left toes and raise your legs upwards towards the ceiling slowly. And then thread both arms between both legs and scoop up into the grip of your elbows, forearms or palms, your right calf muscle. With the right foot and the left foot flexed, slowly lower your left leg to the floor, exhaling. Gently graze the earth with the heel before pointing the toes, and as you breathe in, raising the legs slowly back up again. Exhale, lower the foot, graze the floor with the heel. Inhale, pointed toes, raise the leg back up again. Exhaling. Deep breath in. Exhale. Another deep breath in. As you lower the left leg, keeping both feet flexed, ground the back of your heel. Stamp your footprint as you breathe in on the wall ahead. And as you exhale, peel your head and shoulders off the floor and see if you can bring your head into the palms of your hands or an approximation of that. Keep pressing your pelvis firmly and broadly down across the width of your mat. Try to continue to coax forwards your right sit bone, right hip. And let your shoulders melt away from your ears. Now let your head and shoulders return to the floor. Deeply shimmy your hips to the right. With the help of your left hand and core, exhale and guide your right knee to the left. Extend your gaze out along the outstretched right arm towards the hand. As you breathe into that twist, each time you exhale, try to turn along with your eyes, your navel and your heart to the right. Each time you inhale, try to stretch out a little bit more, right hip traveling forwards, right arm getting a little bit longer, palm of your hand doming upwards to the sky. From that twist, roll over onto your back, bend both knees and wrap your arms around both shins. And then bring your forehead as you exhale up to greet both of your knees and come into a little ball. Shoulders relaxed and your pelvis, tailbone pressing down into the mat. Let your head and shoulders return to the ground. Take your right leg forwards and flex out your foot. Start to circle your left foot and loosen off your left ankle. Circle both ways again. Once you've circled your foot in both directions equally, still that activity, release your hands from your shin and cactus the arms again. Start to form some circles around your left hip with your thigh. Circling one way, winding your way in the opposite direction. Once you've circled your thigh bone in both directions, place your ankle on top of your thigh just above the knee with the left foot flexed. And pause, and for the next few breaths, just breathe with awareness into your left hip. Let the weight of your leg, gravity, help to facilitate a deeper stretch in the inner thigh, the inner groin, the left hip. And keeping the left ankle where it is and pointing the right toes, raise your legs all the way upwards, bringing your right thigh bone over the hip and stamping your footprint on the ceiling, flexed. Simultaneously, thread both arms between your legs and scoop up into the crook of your elbows, forearms, or palms again, your left calf muscle. Keep the left leg where it is, drawing in towards your chin and chest. And then slowly, with the right foot and the left foot flexed, lower your right leg all the way down to graze the ground with your heel. And as you inhale, point the toes without throwing the leg up. Raise the leg back up again to vertical. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale with pointed toes, raise the leg up again. Exhale, lower. And inhale, raise the leg with pointed toes. This time, slowly lower the right leg down to the ground with the foot flexed. As the heel lands, take a deep breath in and stamp your footprint on the wall ahead. As you exhale, peel your head and shoulders off the floor again, and once more attempt to bring your head into the palms of your hands, or an approximation of that. Keep coaxing forward to your left hip, relaxing your shoulders, your face, your jaw. Now take a little shimmy of your hips to the left. With the help of your right hand, guide your left knee over to the right and extend your gaze out along your outstretched left hand, arm, towards the root of your thumb. Again, just breathe with awareness into that twist. Each time you breathe in, try to make your limbs a little longer. Fill your belly, fill your chest. Each time you breathe out, squeeze that corset of flesh tight around your middle. As you roll your way back onto your spine again, wrap your arms back round your shins and hugging your thighs in. Re-arrive your forehead as you next exhale back up to greet your knees. Keep your shoulders again relaxed, your pelvis and your tailbone grounded. As your head and shoulders return to the floor, unfold your arms and legs and have them vertical above your shoulders and your hips. Anchored to the floor with your hips and your shoulders, begin to wriggle your fingers, keeping your arms outstretched, legs outstretched. Start to involve your wrists, your ankles, and bring into play your elbows and your knees, your shoulders and your hips. Start to move your arms and legs every which way you please, being as creative as you like, but guarding your lower back, keeping your lower belly drawn towards the mat. Be mindful with this activity, and whilst you can be as creative and as flowing, try to really expand on the range of movement, don't put pressure on your back. Once you've had a little play with that, raise your arms and legs back vertical above your shoulders and your hips. And then start to vigorously shake your arms and legs as if you're shaking up a cocktail. Shiver your timbers, loosen your muscles grip on both. Feel that bright vibration and a sensation pulsing through every cell. build up a little bit of heat. But try not to compromise your breath. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Keep going. And once you've had as much fun as you can with that one, just still the activity and things with your arms and weightless and your legs are weightless. And then just gently bend the knees. Wrap your arms back around your shins. Circle your knees. Slip your hands to the back of your thighs. And then in your own time, start to rock your way forwards and backwards over your spine a few times. And then from there, just find yourself coming into boat pose, either shins parallel to the floor or straight legs. Employing the surfaces of your hands, holding up your legs, or taking your arms forwards, parallel to the floor. Find your own version of boat. So it can stay here like this, it can be like this, it can be like this, but make sure that as you hold your legs, as you hold your spine nice and long, your core muscles feel strong, no facial muscles involved with this one. And then when you're ready, cross your legs and come to sit with crossed legs and closed eyes. Take a moment or two to fully arrive, sitting upright and tall through the spine. And then slowly, as you inhale, lift your shoulders, lift your gaze through heart and eyes, and you roll your shoulders back and lift your gaze towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And then roll your shoulders forwards and cave your belly and bow your head to your heart as you seek out your navel with your gaze. Lift the shoulders, raise them up and ripple your way through the spine, taking yourself into a seated dovetail. And as you exhale, roll your shoulders forwards, cave the belly, bow your head to your heart, navel to spine. Inhaling, roll the shoulders and lift your gaze through heart and eyes. Then roll the shoulders forwards, almost trying to get them to collide. Inhale. And exhale. One more the same, inhaling. And then exhale, roll the shoulders, bow your head to your heart as you cave your belly. Now come back to a neutral spine, nice tall spine, and bring your fingertips the drift of your hips. And as you do that, take your left hand high and reach up and overhead. As you lean into that side bend, sink your elbow forearm to the floor, peer up past your tricep towards the ceiling. And then exhale, draw your left elbow to your shoulder blade or your kidney. Inhale, reach up and overhead, stretching out the side. Exhale, elbow to kidney. Inhale, up and overhead. Exhaling. And inhale. Slow breath out. Another deep breath in. One more the same, exhaling. And inhale again. Now bend the elbow and cradle the back of your head with your left palm. Try to sink deeper to the floor after those side stretches, your right elbow, right forearm. Bring your left elbow tip to the ceiling, keep leaning your head into your palm and take another deep breath in. And then exhale, take elbow to elbow as you twist to the thigh. Inhale, raise the left elbow to the sky. Try to keep the left sitting bone grounded, exhaling. And inhale. So as you twist, try not to let the left sitting bone lift. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale, full twist. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale. And inhale. Last one the same, exhaling. And inhale. Now reach up and overhead again with your left arm out of your peripheral sight line. Lean a little bit further over to the right and ground your left seat. As you exhale, transition your left hand in front of your shin. Take your left hand to the left of your hip. Sink your elbow and frame the right side of your face with your right arm. Coming into that second side stretch. Exhale, take elbow to shoulder blade, twist. Inhale, keep the right sitting bone grounded, reach up and overhead. Exhaling, elbow to shoulder blade. And inhale, I think Patrick's frozen, unless you've stuck like that on purpose. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale, elbow to shoulder blade. And inhale. On your back again. Exhale and inhale. Last one of these. Exhale and inhale. Now bend the elbow and capture the back of your head in the palm. Lean your head against your palm, wing the elbow towards the ceiling. Take another deep breath in. And then exhale and steer yourself into that twist, elbow to elbow. Inhale, lean into your palm. Exhale, twist. Inhale. Exhaling. And inhale. Keep the right sitting bone grounded. Inhale. One more the same, exhaling. And inhale again. Still with the right sitting bone heavily weighted to the floor, stretch out through the side body and take the arm out of your peripheral sight line again. Really stretch between the armpit and the hip. And then trail the floor in front of your shin with your right shin fingertips and come all the way upright to where you began. Poised on your sitting bones, float the fingertips high towards the sky. Interlock your fingers and push away the ceiling with the palms of your hands. As you get that stretch into the palms of your hands, the roots of your fingers and thumbs again, try to draw your outer armpits back and your shoulders down. From there, keep reaching high as you take another side stretch through the left ribs and the waist. Breathe by the armpit all the way to the hip. Peer up past your left tricep towards where the wall and the ceiling meet over there on your left. Then come back to the center, lean to the left, exhaling, and peer past your right tricep towards the sky. From there, come right back to the midline. Take your hands behind you and pop your fingertips behind your seat. I'll show you this way. Try to get your thumb tips to touch behind your tail. Squish down the palms of your hands, your triceps, your elbows. And as you push down your palms, once again, bloat the belly, fill the chest, think back bend again. As you fill yourself to the brim, take a long, deep breath in. And slow breath out, fill your belly cave, keep puckering together your shoulder blades. Push into your palms, take another deep breath in, fill yourself to the brim. And exhale again. And then rise onto your fingertips, switch out the fingers so they're pointing back. Take another deep breath in and start to push into your fingertips with consistent pressure. And slowly, hinging at the hips with your feet flexed, begin to make your way into a forward bend, using your fingertips each time you breathe in to project your heart further forwards beyond the shins. And each time you breathe out, see if you can fold a little bit deeper into that shape. As you continue to fold into that forward bend, breathe long, deep breaths into what's there. See if you can allow yourself a few more breaths, still pressing your fingertips into the floor, lengthening the back of your neck, gazing beyond the tip of your nose. And then finally, just let your hands come out in front of you, and with your hands poised like two little wigwams, outstretched in front of your shins, take a few more deep breaths in and out through the nose. As you tuck in your chin and just curl your way back up through the vertebrae, take your time to sit upright. And then do nothing more or less than change the cross of your legs so the opposite shin now gets to be in front. Mold your hands back to your knees or thighs, and again, blink, close your eyes, and fully arrive in that upright cross-legged position. Keeping the spine long and imagining that the crown of your head is being lifted up by the hair follicles on it, start to circle your navel tiny little spirals right over the center of your perineum, the center of your pelvic basin. Try to keep that feeling of uplift and height through the spine as you begin to spiral outwardly. Gradually find yourself increasing the range of movement, still keeping the spine long and the core muscles switched on. And gradually, moving yourself out from the right to the left, forwards and back, start to circle your navel all the way around the rim of your pelvis. Gradually find yourself building up on the range of movement available to you in the first direction that you embarked upon. And when you feel that you've optimized the full range of movement available, without changing the range of movement or the rhythm with which you're moving, wind your way back in the opposite direction, still belly drawn to spine. You might want to stay with closed eyes and just feel your way through the movement rather than see it. And just as you increase the spiraling in the first direction, now as you begin to sit more upright, begin to reduce the spiral. Keep gathering that corset of flesh around your waistline. And as those spirals decrease, find yourself ultimately coming back to stillness, sitting upright and tall through the spine, your crown suspending your spine like a plumb line. As you draw up tall through the spine, take a deep breath in and then twist towards the right thigh and take the left shoulder down to greet the right knee, exhaling. Inhale, come straight back up again today. Exhale, twist, take shoulder to knee, bow your head humbly. Inhale, come right back up again. Lead with the shoulder, exhale, shoulder to knee. Inhale, twist and fold, shoulder to knee. Inhale, right back up again. Exhale, twist, shoulder to knee. And inhale. Exhale, twist, shoulder to knee. And inhale. As you come right back up again, bring your fingertips like you did before, adrift of your hips. And take a moment or two to just sit fully upright. And then raise your hands. And as you do, just capture your left wrist with your right hand again. Take another side stretch, breathing by the armpit all the way to the left hip. Slightly leaning the back of your head, shoulders towards the wall behind you. Peer up past your tricep again, towards where the wall and the ceiling meet, or the sky over there to your left. Come back to the center, exchange wrists, and take that lateral stretch into the opposite side of your body, tugging gently on the wrist to bring a little bit more intensity into the stretch. Then come back to the center, bring both hands behind you again with your fingertips pointing towards your seat. Squeeze together your elbows and your triceps, float the belly, fill the chest. Keep the neck long, try not to throw the neck, but as you gaze to the tip of your nose and bloat the belly, fill the chest, try to squeeze together your shoulder blades, your triceps and your elbows. Press firmly down into the ground through the palms of both hands. Take another deep bloaty belly breath and breathe everything out again. One more the same, really press down through your palms, protrude your hip breastbone through your front body towards the sky. And then switch out the hands and the fingertips are pointing back. And slowly from there, begin to inch your fingertips closer towards your seat. And as you hinge at the hip crease, still projecting your heart forwards and pressing your fingertips into the floor. Each time you breathe in, feel your heart moving a little bit further forwards beyond the shins. Keep those feet flexed, and each time you breathe out, melt your front body a little bit closer to the ground. Keep pushing your fingertips into the ground for one more round of breath. And as you breathe out, sweep your hands from behind you, and once again, reframe your ears with your arms, and poised on your fingertips, let your head melt heavy between the arms. Stay with flexed feet, and notice an increasingly quietening state of mind. From that second forward bend, tuck your chin into your collarbones again and curl your way back up through the spine, you know the drill. And then just bring yourself over to kneeling on all fours. And once you've got yourself kneeling and perhaps centered yourself on your mat, place wrists beneath shoulders and knees beneath hips. As you come to kneeling on all fours, proceed to form some figures of 8 now with your navel. And again, like with the spirals when you were sitting cross-legged before, start small, gathering your navel to your kidneys and gradually increasing the size of the figure of 8 that you're drawing with your navel. Start to shift the weight forwards over the wrists towards the fingertips. Swing the hips out to the sides and back to your heels. Gradually find yourself really forming quite huge figures of 8 and maybe closing your eyes and just letting your spine to move in that snake-like way, covering as much of the surface area of your mat as you can. Once you feel that you've optimized the range of movement doing this with your body, without changing the range of movement nor the rhythm again, start to form those figures of 8, traveling in the opposite direction. Let your head go one way, consciously let the hips go the other, so that that ripple effect moves right up through the entire length of your spine. And like you did before, as you incrementally reduce the spiraling when you're sitting cross-legged, now start to reduce the figure of 8. And eventually forming the smallest figures of 8 over the centre of your mat before coming to stillness again. When you do come to stillness on all fours, just keep lifting the front of your body to the back and pick up your left hand, stack your shoulders and hips and reach up to the rafters with your left fingertips. Really plug the right hand into the floor and really feel that weight bearing through the right arm. Then thread the needle, slide your left arm underneath your right armpit and guide yourself mindfully down onto the left side of your shoulder and face. Depending on how your neck feels, you might want to put a cushion underneath your left ear. You might want to take your right arm behind your waist or keep supporting yourself with your right hand placed where it is. You might want to creep your right hand forwards and experience a stretch into the side body. So whether you've taken your time to take your right arm around the back of your waist, whether you've left it here to support you in that shape, or whether you've creeped your right hand forwards, just find an appropriate course of action for you today. Close your eyes and again, just nestle inside your own body. Feel yourself becoming that little bit more intimately acquainted with what's going on within. From whatever version of thread needle pose you chose, bring your hand back beneath your shoulder. And as you press firmly into the right palm, bring your left hand beneath your left shoulder and come back to kneeling on all fours in tabletop. And take your right hand high, stack the shoulders and lift your gaze towards the root of your thumb. Really reach up as high as you can and really press down strongly through the supporting left palm. Feel that weight bearing, that strengthening of your left arm. Now thread the needle second side and glide your right arm underneath your armpit. Hunker down onto the side of your shoulder, the side of your face. Again, you can elect, keep your hand where it is, supporting you. Or you can wrap your left arm around the back of your waist and fish around and maybe find the inner thigh. Or if you went there before, you can creep your left hand forwards and explore another side stretch between the left armpit and the left hip. Take a few more breaths in that chosen thread needle pose with your eyes closed, encouraging yourself to travel deeper and deeper beneath your own skin. As you bring your hand back beneath the shoulder, extract your right arm from underneath your chest and bring both hands back to the floor to come to all fours. Take a moment or two to revisit tabletop with a nice long spine. Then tuck under your toes and partially take your seat to your heels. And then lift your knees just a couple of centimetres off the floor, balanced on the pads of your toes. Try to travel your torso closer to the space between your thighs and start to lift your buttocks and the axis of your hips. Slowly begin to straighten your legs without locking your knee joints closed and separate your feet to hip width apart and parallel. As you come into downward facing dog, let your head be heavy and take a deep breath in through the nose and then breathe out through the lips and flubber your lips as you expel every last drop of breath through the mouth. Take another deep breath in, fill yourself to the top and then exhale horse breath, relaxing your facial muscles and jaw. One more the same, deep breath in again. And then exhale, flubber your lips once more. As you resume breathing in and out through the nose, pivot on the balls of your toes and gently wag your dog's tail or your horse's tail. Swing your hips from side to side with your belly drawn to your spine and your head hanging heavy between both arms. Once you've had a little swing of your hips from side to side, come back to stillness and begin to slowly walk your feet up to your hands to find your standing forward fold. And as you come into that standing forward bend, belly drawn to spine and as generous a bend as you need in those knees, let your head remain heavy and your arms hang like noodles towards the floor. As you come up to the top of your mat in that forward bend, just for the first few breaths whilst you're here, shift the weight forwards and backwards between the heels, balls and pads of your toes a few times. Just bring all your attention to your foundations, your feet. And with all your attention now at your foundations, see if you can secure your foundations through your feet evenly. Front and back, left and right foot, all supporting your weight equally. As you hang there in that forward bend, chin tucked into chest, buttock rising to the sky, arms still hanging heavy, imagine sending really long foundational roots down into the earth through both feet. And then with your back slightly arched and your belly caved, your chin tucked into your collarbones, and your feet still grounding securely into the earth, start to stack the vertebrae of your spine one bone at a time. Come all the way up to standing in mountain pose. Slot shoulders into place, cultivate a neutral pelvis and a heavily weighted tail. And then as you inhale, take your hands up high, steeple your hands to prayer, and then just coast your fingertips back across the surface of the ceiling, feel a stretch into your hip flexors and your thighs. As you exhale with your hands in prayer, that gesture of gratitude, hinge at the hip crease and fall back into your forward bend again, heavy head. And then step your left foot back, keeping the left heel within the frame of your hip and bending your front knee. Grounding through the feet, slowly rise up, led by the tips of your thumbs, take the other four fingers into a high crescent lunge. And as you come into that high crescent lunge, take a micro dip into that left knee. And then take a deep breath in and straighten the back leg and try to draw a little bit more upright through the spine. Take another deep breath in. Lift your gaze through heart and eyes. Slowly exhale, weight the tail and nudge it to the pubic bone. Take another deep breath in, reach up higher with your fingertips. And exhale. One more the same, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, let your fingers cruise slowly down the wall behind you. Humbly bow down to the ground and bring your hands to shoulder width. Step your right foot back to join your left and squeeze together your legs as you find plank. Lift your heart between the shoulder blades and your navel to your kidneys as you take a deep breath in for one. Exhale everything. A deep breath in for two. Push back strongly through your heels, lengthen forwards through your crown. For three, soft bend in your elbows. And on four, try to squeeze the frontal hips together as if you're zipping up a tight pair of jeans. On the end of four, lower it as you exhale, your knees to the floor. Keep your elbows tucked in and hover your heart between your thumbs and then press powerfully into your palms as you rise, keeping the shoulders low into a supported cobra. And then pushing firmly into your palms, tucking your chin into your collarbones, tuck under your toes, begin to lift your knees simultaneously and come into downward facing dog pose again, with feet hip width apart and parallel. Once again, sharply lift the axis of your hips. Cave your belly. Let your head be heavy, your jaw be relaxed. And as you continue to breathe slowly and steadily, start to walk your feet up towards your hands and revisit your standing forward bend at the top of your mat. Arching the back, tucking the chin, curl your way up through the spine. Take your time, feet plugged into the ground to rise up to standing in mountain pose again. And as you inhale, circle the room you're in with your fingertips. Gather your palms to prayer. Slightly tilt back, pitching the hips forwards, engaging the buttocks and lifting your gaze from heart and eyes towards the sky. With your hands in prayer, exhale and humbly bow down, hinging at the hip crease back into your forward bend again. And as you inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, step your right foot back, keeping the heel off the floor and in line with the hip. Finding yourself coming up into that high lunge, led by the tips of your thumbs. Take a deep breath in as you raise the arms and frame your ears. Take a slow breath out as you micro bend the right knee. As you inhale, straighten the back leg, upright the spine, and look up through heart and eyes again towards the sky. Try to tilt back a little bit more and find strength and stillness as you breathe in for 1. Exhaling. Push back strongly through the right heel as you breathe in again. For 2. Exhale everything. And on 3, see if you can fill yourself to the brim once more. And then exhale and let your fingers slowly and deliberately coast down the wall behind. Bow down to ground your hands to frame your foot and step back and find plank again. As you come to plank, squeeze together your hips, keep the back of your head long. Breathe in for 1, strong arms, soft elbows. Exhale everything. Breathe in for 2, squeeze together the hips, traction the shoulder blades apart. Exhale everything. For 3, draw forward through your crown, back through your tail. Exhale. And on 4, 1 more round of your breath. And at the end of the exhalation, lower your knees, lift your seat, hover your heart between your hands and driving your heart between your thumbs, rise, inhaling into your supported cobra again. As you exhale, come to kneel, tuck under your toes, lift your seat, lift your hips, downward facing dog. As you come back into that down facing dog, heavy head hanging out between your arms. Pick up your left foot, bend your left knee, and start to circumnavigate your hip with your left thigh again. Head's heavy, right heel's inching towards the floor. Circle your knee one way, circle back the opposite one. Now look forwards towards the outer edge of the left wrist. That's where your knee is heading. And as you position the knee just behind the left wrist, finger side, look over your right shoulder and slide your right leg back in line with your right hip. Flex the foot. You can try and square the shin to the front of your mat, but no biggie if it won't go. Keep the heel drawn to close to your right hip and come onto your fingers with your hands slightly wider than shoulder width. If anyone's struggling with their joints to be in this variation of pigeon, then lie on your back and place your ankle on your thigh and thread your left hand between your legs and hold pigeon lying on your back. Take a few more breaths in your king pigeon pose, drawing your shoulders back, lifting your breastbone, lifting your gaze. Press firmly down into that back foot, particularly the top of your foot and all 5 toes. Once you've taken those rounds of breath, and of course you can go down Sudra if you choose, start to walk your hands forwards and guide yourself down as symmetrically as possible into your sleeping pigeon. You might just come onto your forearms, onto your elbows and be here. You might make a little pillow by stacking your hands and placing your forehead on your top hand. You might feel comfortable coming lower than that and taking your arms forwards to frame your ears. Or you might feel that you can come resting on the left side of your face and spreading your wings, extending your arms like a Texas T and embracing the earth as you let your heart melt towards the floor. So whether you're higher up and you're on your elbows, whether you're lower down with hands stacked and your forehead's resting on your top hand, whether your arms are reaching forwards, or whether they're out wide, spread like an eagle in flight, try to hunker down into that preferred shape and breathe with awareness into your hips. Feel your belly rising and falling. Become so intimately aware of what's going on inside your body that you can even listen to your own heartbeat. From your sleeping pigeon, bring your hands back beneath your armpits again and realign your chin with the center of your collarbones. Curl your way back up through the spine, take your time, and then swing the back leg out from behind you and bend it straight out in front of you in line with the hip still. And then scoop up this left shin and draw the heel of your left foot close to your left buttock. Sit right on the top of your sitting bones and gather up this left leg with your right arm. And then windmill sail your left fingertips all the way around the room that you're in before bringing your palm to the ground and pivoting your fingertips to the right side of the mat. Take a deep breath in, pressing down through your sitting bones left foot and keeping your right foot flexed. And as you slowly exhale and twist towards this left thigh, take your time, breath by breath, to climb your way up through the thoracic vertebrae to the neck. And eventually, glance over your shoulders and into the corners of your eyes. Keep those shoulders relaxed, facial muscles and jaw relaxed. Very slowly from there, unwind, and as you come facing forwards, cross your ankles and bring yourself back over to kneeling. Once you're kneeling on all fours, tuck under your toes, partially take your seat to your heels, lift your knees and find yourself returning to your downward facing dog. As you pick up the right foot, bend the right knee, start to circumnavigate the right hip with the right thigh. Big juicy circles again, traveling one way. Big juicy circles, traveling the opposite one. And once you've circled your thigh bone in both directions equally around that right hip, make your preparations to shift the knee to the little finger side of your right wrist, to square your shin as best you can to the front of your mat, or to have your shin at more of an angle, heel reaching for the left hip. Check that your left leg is in line with the left hip and the foot's not sickling in. And then walk back on your fingers and lift your gaze through heart and eyes towards the sky. The right foot stays flexed. The left toes, tops of your left foot, stay grounded. And as you take some deep breaths, keep sloping your shoulders away from your ears. Take those deep breaths, keep pressing into your fingertips, try to get a little bit more upward lift. And then when you're ready, and again, only you can really know that, coming down slowly, bow your hands forwards and come down as symmetrically as possible into your version of sleepy pigeon, either with sphinx arms or stacked hands, forehead resting on the top hand. Or if you can go lower, arms extended, chin resting on the ground. Or bringing the right side of your face to rest on the ground and spreading your arms like an eagle, spreading your wings. And hunkering down into your own body in whichever variation you've chosen. Feel the pull of gravity. Let your breath take you on a road trip, traveling deeper and deeper into that world of yours, where only you can go, deep beneath your skin. As you hang out there for a few breaths more, just feel yourself becoming more and more relaxed, more and more settled into this shape. Ultimately, bring your hands back underneath your armpits again. Tuck your chin and curl your way back up through the vertebrae, taking your time. And swinging out the leg that's behind you and setting it out in front of you, help to bring your right heel to your right seat this time. Poised on your sitting bones, grounding through this right foot, flexing out through the left foot, scoop up the right shin, right leg with your left arm. And then make a big circumnavigation of the space that you're in with your right fingertips, mobilizing the rotator cuff, the shoulder. As you twist, coming into that twist, take your time. Feel the thigh resting against the belly rising and falling against the thigh. Each time you breathe in, feel that rebound energy rising up the spine, feeling your crown doming up to the rafters. Each time you exhale, really strongly ignite the core and feel yourself twisting a little bit more up through the thoracic vertebrae to the neck. As you unwind from that twist, take your time. And this time, bring your left foot in along with your right. And then wrap your arms around your shins, bring your hands to the elbows. Try and traction the shoulder blades apart as you cave your belly and bow your head to your heart. In other words, coming to a little cosmic egg balance. Balanced on the sitting bones, Breathing long, deep breaths. From your cosmic egg, just ground your feet, and if, like me, you've sort of migrated towards something that you're going to bash into, then shuffle your sitting bones closer to the front of your mat. Bring your hands back under your thighs, and then start to take a little rock and roll forwards and backwards a few times over your spine. We're heading into plough. So to come into plough, maybe your version of plough just involves bringing your thighs to your belly, knees closer to your brow, and that might be where you stay. Maybe bringing your hands into play and popping them on the back of your body. Try to keep the elbows in line with the shoulders. If you can manage to take your feet to the floor beyond your crown, straightening out the legs and tucking under your toes, only then think about taking your arms overhead to frame your ears and reaching with your hands for your feet or toes, balancing on the brackets of your shoulders. If you aren't able to safely bring your feet to the floor and feel secure, keep your hands resting on your big back and use your hands to help support you in your version of plough. As you breathe into the back of your body, take some really long, deep breaths. Then keep pressing into your shoulders, upper arms. Try to feel that you're not putting pressure on your neck. And make sure you don't move your head. Even if something happens in your environment that distracts you, keep your chin in line with the center of your collarbones, your neck in line with the rest of your spine. As you find stillness in your version of plough and really stretch out the muscles of your back, massage your shoulders, breathe those deepest and most conscious breaths. If you straightened your legs with tucked under toes, slowly lower your knees down to your brow. And then bring your arms out in front of you like a pair of tram tracks. And keeping the knees bent and the fronts of your thighs close to your front body, slowly, with the arms and the core muscles serving as brakes, begin to count down the vertebrae of your spine, one bone at a time, until you arrive on your pelvis, your tail. As you come to that little ball shape, wrap your arms around your shins again, circle your knees and massage your kidneys with your knees side by side. Keep the knees glued together as you circle one way, and then wind them back the opposite one. Once you've circled your knees in both directions equally, find stillness once more. And just step your feet either individually or simultaneously down onto the ground. With your feet hip width, slightly pigeon the toes and reach with your fingers to your outer ankles or the backs of your heels. Try to draw your shoulders away from your ears. And pressing down through both your hands and your feet, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, engage your glutes, lift your tail, and slowly rise up and take bridge pose. Lifting your heart and hips, reaching with your fingers towards your ankles, engaging your glutes. Try not to let your knees splay apart, but ensure that those knees are tracking your middle toes and your thighs stay in line with the hips. There, in your bridge pose, keep pressing down firmly through your palms, forearms, upper arms, and shoulders. You might select to interlock your fingers, press your palms together, and send your knuckles into the space between your heels, and shuffle your shoulder blades, your upper arms close together underneath your back. You might lift your heels, bend your elbows still tucked in underneath your waist, and bring the palms of your hands with your fingers pointing to your tail to support your pelvis, regrounding the heels and coming to your supported bridge like that. If that's too much for your wrists, if that's too much to lift yourself in that position, and position your hands underneath your pelvis and lower your heels, then stay with one of the two previous options instead. Either interlock fingers pushing forwards between your heels, or palms facing down and fingers reaching for the ankles. In whatever version of bridge pose you've chosen, take 2 or 3 more long, deep breaths. Each time you breathe in, consciously filling yourself right up to the top. And each time you breathe out, consciously emptying right the way to the bottom, leaving nothing stagnant, stale behind. Deep, bloated belly breath in. Slow and complete breath out. One more round of your breath, pressing firmly into your shoulders, soles of your feet, get that little bit of upward thrust. And one more complete breath out. If you position your palms underneath your pelvis, come onto the balls of your toes, lifting your heels. Release your hands from your pelvis and send the arms forwards like tram tracks. Reground the heels, and everybody now slowly descend the vertebrae, one bone at a time. When you arrive on your tail, as you inhale, take your arms overhead and let both legs simultaneously windscreen to the right. And take both hands back overhead, bringing them alongside your hips and traveling your knees back over your heels. Take another deep breath in, transition the knees to the left and the arms overhead and pause. And as you exhale, roll back over the soles of your feet and bring your hands back down by your hips. Practice one more round of those. Inhale as your arms go overhead and your knees to go right. Exhale back to the midline. Inhale, knees go left, arms go overhead. Exhale, come back to the midline. As you come back to stillness, externally rotate the arms and turn your palms slightly adrift of your mat to face the sky. Slightly out your back and draw your shoulders away from your ears. Lift your pelvis and lengthen between your heels the tip of your tail. And then slide your feet towards the two front corners of your mat to lie flat. With your legs extended, fingertips reaching down towards the little toes, palms facing the sky. Make sure that there's ample space between your upper arms and your side ribs, your forearms and your waist for the air to circulate freely. And with closed eyes, take a gentle rock and roll from side to side over the back of your head a few times. And then ultimately, find stillness and perfect symmetry. Consciously unclench your teeth to relax your jaw. Take your internal gaze to the space just above the two eyebrows on the center of your forehead. Erase any remnant or trace of a frown from your brow now. Feel the muscles surrounding your eyes relaxing. Your cheeks melting into the hollows beneath your cheekbones. Your lips very softly closed. Simply passively bear witness to the breath as it ebbs and flows, travels without effort on your part, in and out of your body, through your lips. Nowhere to go, nothing to do or to be, or at least for this next little while, other than simply be the witness to your body as it rests and as it breathes. If you can afford longer today to rest in this way, consciously observing your breath, relaxing your body and your brain, then go for it. But if the day is calling your name, slowly begin to reawaken your body by gently wriggling your fingers and your toes. Rotate your hands, your feet, and maybe take another of those full body stretches between the extremities with outstretched fingers and pointed toes. As you gather up your legs, wrap your arms around your shins and hug your thighs in, come into a little ball. Circle your knees, massage your kidneys. And then just gently roll over onto one side and pause there briefly to simply appraise how you feel. When you do come up, do so slowly and come to sit quietly with crossed legs and closed eyes in easy pose. When you arrive, just remind yourself to change the cross of your shins so that you've got the least habitual shin crossed to the front. Bring your hands home in front of your heart. Quietly bow your head to your heart today. And prayerfully, privately bring your practice to a close by simply lifting whoever it is, whatever situation you find in your heart today, to a love, light, power, perhaps so much greater than your own. Namaste, have a lovely day. Thank you for joining me.